We believe that wealth is a journey, and that this is your jumpstart to trading success. Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Traders Mindchat show. I'm Mike.
And I'm Melissa. And how do you handle trading in a choppy market? So this is something that we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, choppy market. Chop. Chop. Chopping a salad. Chop.
Anyway, so we're in a choppy market right now, right, Mike?
So as of this recording, the market's been choppy. Actually, the past couple of months, the market has just been like a non-stop kind of choppiness. It's been difficult for it to gain any real traction or momentum on the shorter term time frames. Like, it's been grinding higher, but it's been a challenging path for especially for people that are swing trading.
Why is that?
Well, let's say you're swing trading, that you're planning to hold this trade for a couple of days, couple of weeks. So what'll happen is you will buy a breakout, it'll start to move in your favor, and then all of a sudden it'll get slammed back down, right? So it makes it a little bit more challenging to gain progress. Not impossible, but a little bit more challenging. Some of the tactics that I'm using, that Stu's using, and some of the other elite members are using is to take profits faster. Right? Like, so if you're used to taking profits at 10%, start taking profits at 5%, and maybe take a little bit more off the table when you're taking off those gains, so that way you're pocketing them rather than giving them back to the market.
So, what would you say would be like 3 things that you're doing right now to help you in this type of environment?
First thing is awareness, right? Figuring out like what type of market environment you're in. So one thing that I do for that is I do this market assessment. I call it the market mood. And I do that every day, and a bigger version on weekends, but I do a version of this every day, where first I'm looking at the major indexes. Right, so the 5 major indexes, the S&P 500, NASDAQ, the Russell 2000, the New York Stock Exchange, and the Dow. Those are the 5 major ones that I look at. And I'm looking at them on across time frames. So I'm looking at it on a monthly chart, on a weekly chart, and on a daily chart. So that way I have like a 10,000 foot view, and I've got a much smaller, narrowed focus on like, well, how things are shaping up right now. So in doing that, I'm seeing like, are we in a nice strong uptrend? Are we shifting down? Are we chopping around like an action figure?
From Toy Story.
This is my choppy motion.
People listening are like, what is wrong with these people?
People on the podcast are missing out of the chop motion. So if you're listening,
it's a new workout we're doing.
Not chop. Bad. Yeah, the chop.
Or a dance move. It could be a dance move.
Oh God.
They had the floss. Now we get the chop.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could start it, right?
Starting a trend today. Everybody's going to start doing the chop.
Yeah, I'm thinking ahead for what's this year's video going to be. Like last year we did that, the 12 days of trading.
Yes,
the
right.
12 pains of trading. Like maybe, anyway.
The chop for choppy markets.
Yeah, so major indexes is the first thing. Then after that, I'm looking at the number of stocks that are making new highs versus new lows, new 52-week highs versus new 52-week lows. And the reason for that is because intuitively, it just makes sense, right? So you have an index that's filled with stocks. If the index is going to continue to make new highs, then the stocks within it should be making new highs, right?
You would think.
You would think. So when that's in alignment, then okay, that's another signal that things are moving smoothly as they should. When they're not, and this is kind of what we've seen past within the past week, there's been more stocks. There's actually more stocks on the Nasdaq that are making new lows than new highs. A couple of days this week, and I believe a day last week. While the index itself was making new highs, and so that's something that's like a yellow flag, right? It's just like, hey, like something is weird or off. So when I'm factoring in market conditions, market mood, and I'm trying to figure out how heavy or light to be stepping on the gas on my trades, that's one of the things that's just like, okay, something's off. So let me not bet as heavy as I normally would.
Also, that's a great indicator that something is off with the market mood, and then you're being able to be a little bit less risky.
Right, exactly. And it's one part of the picture. I'm taking all this stuff into account. It's not just like, oh, well, the major indexes are choppy, so see you later. Or this one thing with the new highs versus new lows, like, oh, it's wacky, so I'm not going to trade at all. Or
Yeah, you're looking at the full picture.
yeah, I'm taking it all in. I'm processing, and then I'm rolling with the punches. Yeah, for any what was that movie? Incredibles.
Oh my god, yes, we're a lot of PIXAR today.
Yeah,
PIXAR. As you can tell, we're watching with our daughter.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, watching it with her only. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Sure, he isn't. He loves it.
The next thing after that, so I'm looking at that, and then I'm seeing what setups are available. Right? I think that's an important part, and it makes it individual.
What do you mean by setup?
So the thing that's going to get me into a trade is what I call the setup. So for me, I'm looking at technical patterns on the stocks that I'm looking at. So like things that you may have heard of, like a cup with handle, right? Like your cup with handle.
I actually do know that pattern.
Yeah, like a flat base, like things like that. But other people might have a different kind of setup, right? Like they might be looking at something completely different, whether it's on a chart or a fundamental thing. Like whatever the catalyst to get you in is, that is what I would call the setup. So that's how this could be applicable to anybody. It's not just like me and my way of trading. It could be applicable to anybody.
So these are, if you're looking for a particular power pattern, like something that you have in your system that you know that if you see this particular pattern setting up in the charts, that's when you know that you want to start getting in?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So see what types of setups are currently available, and if you're seeing like a whole lot of setups, like wow, like there's a lot of opportunity here, then great, then that's the market giving you information that's personalized to you, because it's just like, well, it's like to borrow an example that Mark Minervini likes to talk about, like on Twitter and in his books. Like it's like if you go to the store, right, and you walk into the store and there's tons of merchandise everywhere, then that's a good thing, right? Like you're walking into the store to buy stuff and there's stuff on the shelves. But let's say you walk into the store and it's completely empty.
Oh, like what happened during COVID.
Yeah, right?
That was shocking.
So what are you going to buy if you walk into a store and it's empty?
Well, there was no bread on the shelves. I
right,
remember.
So you're not buying bread.
You're not buying bread. Or meat. There was hardly any meat. So whatever we were able to scavenge and fight over.
Yeah, exactly. So the same thing applies to trading. You're going to go and see what setups are available, and if you're seeing a ton of setups, then that's good. If you're not seeing the type of setups that you like, or if they're of low quality, then that's good information. It's telling you that, yeah, it's not a great environment and you shouldn't be betting so much right now. So looking at
There's
that...
that one person going in and buying up all the toilet paper now.
Yeah, that's that setup where like you're looking at it like, oh, like this looks like it'll be close, and then all of a sudden it gaps up and you don't get it. That's that one asshole that walked in there and bought all the toilet paper.
I love it.
So toilet paper guy, how the setups that you're seeing end up performing, right? So let's say you're walking in and you're in the store, and you find like a whole bunch of merchandise. You're not going to buy everything, but maybe you buy a couple of things. What I like to do is to track not just what I buy, but like everything that I had on my radar. So that way I could see that, oh wow, like here's a setup that, so I bought one or two setups and all the other ones, well, like everything is doing well, right? Or if I'm looking at setups and they're kind of like choppy or not going anywhere, or they're falling apart, then that's also information of the market telling me like, hey, you're seeing a whole bunch of opportunities and here's how we're treating them right now. Are they crashing into a wall? Are they popping and dropping? Are they rallying to the moon? Like, well, what's going on with them? And that's another determinant of like how good of an environment it is.
That sounds like that's key to know when you want to actually get in and to just sometimes just be patient. It sounds like even if it's choppy right now, it will get better. So maybe right now is not the time to buy. So sit back and wait a little bit before making your move.
Yeah, absolutely. The market is an infinite stream of opportunity. I say that all the time. Andrew, if Andrew's watching, like he loves to quote me on that one. But
it's a great quote.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. If the market is an infinite stream of opportunity, then that means that you could sit there with the bat on your shoulder and wait for your pitch to hit, right? Like just wait for the fat pitch to come across the plate. Like you don't have to just be swinging wildly at anything. You could just wait for it to come out. Like, and this is the type of setup in the proper conditions that like all the catalysts are there for this to work well. Wait for that before betting heavy.
Yeah, that's something I learned from you is that you don't have to be in the market 24/7.
Yeah,
and
no.
that's, I think, a misconception that like you feel like you need to be in the game to not miss out on something that's going to happen. But maybe the best way to come out ahead is to take that step back and wait for the right opportunity.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Wait for the right opportunity. Like if it's kind of so, like get rid of it. Like, well, why even bother with something that's so? Like it's either a hell yes or a no.
Okay, so that should be it. If it's not hell yes, no. Got your little checklist.
Yeah. That's the main thing right there. Either a hell yes or a no. Simple as that. Like, how do you?
Yeah, so not and the ones in the middle. Maybe you put them
Yeah,
on the
no,
watch
it's like
list.
a bad employee. Like it's the worst kind of a employee. Like the people that like do just enough, right? Like they're not a rock star, and it's not like somebody that's like completely like underperforming, right? Because at least those you could just tell them that like this really isn't working out. Like see you later. Mm-hmm. It's those ones that kind of fall in the middle, right? Like same thing over here. The ones that are just kind of like so. They're not doing enough to get rid of them, but they're not really like your star performers. Like you don't want to have a portfolio full of those. Mm-hmm. Like you want the A-level setups. You want the stocks that are going to do well for you. From that perspective, like you're hiring these stocks. Do you want to hire the best, or do you want to hire
no, someone mediocre. Going back to the Incredibles.
Oh God, yeah, you don't want Mr. So-so or Mr. Mediocre. You want Mr. Incredible.
That's right.
On your team, in your portfolio, and that's what's going to make your trading incredible.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's great advice, and I'm loving all these PIXAR analogies today. I want to go
like
watch
a
these
PIXAR
movies
theme.
now.
So gotta wrap up here and go watch the show.
I love it. And if you guys have any questions about anything that you've learned today, feel free to leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you and see if you got something out of this. And I'll also attach some videos that Mike has done in the past about power patterns or other things that can help you as you're trying to gauge the market conditions.
All right, you've got your work cut out for you. You promised them, now you got to deliver.
I can do it.
All right.
I got this.
Hold her to it. If she doesn't do it, like drop a hateful comment down below. Say
don't
like
do that.
All right. Well, anyway,
we're gonna chop you. The choppy market.
Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, take this and run with it. See you soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.